Have you ever felt lonely or left out even though you are surrounded by many people? Many of us might not realize how being a deaf can affect someone's life. For deaf individuals, it's not just about the loss of hearing, but also the loss of easy communication with the world around them. Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Nabila Natasya binti Muhammad here, and my matrix ID is A210530. Today, my topic is sign language should be taught in school to build a more inclusive society. Its abilities is not something that we wish for, yet it can happen to anyone regardless of age or genders. Many of us might feel like it is a waste of time to learn sign language until someone they love become disabled. Only then they will realize how valuable this skill truly is. Talking about experience, I once witnessed a deaf man being struggled to make some orders at a vendor. It is because not many people know sign language, so they didn't understand what he's trying to say. But thankfully, one of the staff members knew sign language and was able to help him through his orders. That moment stayed with me, and it opened my eyes on how a simple skill like sign language can break the communication barriers and make everyday life feels more inclusive. The purpose of my speech today is to persuade you that teaching sign language in schools is essential because it promotes inclusivity, it can improve the communication barriers between the hearings and non-hearings, and also fosters an empathetic society. To begin my talk, I will start with explaining how the deaf face the communication barriers, then how the sign language affect education, and the benefit of learning sign language. So let's move on to the first point. How the deaf face the communication barriers in their daily life. In 2025, there is a report from RNID, which stands for Royal National Institution for Deaf People. In this report, it states that only 1 in 4 people know sign language and was able to use it, even though it's just the everyday phrases like hello and thank you. In this report, a deaf man shared how his daily life was affected by his disabilities. He always hesitated to do things that others take for granted, such as taking public transport or visiting shops. It is because not many people know sign language, so he cannot communicate freely and he was unable to fully enjoy the social gatherings as frequent as he wants. Eventually, he felt isolated and felt excluded from the society. Now, let's move on to the second point, which is how the sign language will affect education. It is undeniably challenging to communicate, but also a student or a deaf learners also face the same struggles in education. Based on 2021 report by Obura, a UNICEF report, it states that it is essential to include sign language in the learning material so that the deaf learners can access to the education fully. This initiative will create a chance for them to enjoy and to take the lessons equally with their peers. The education that they receive is unequal if the teachers and the classmates lack of knowledge of sign language because they cannot communicate and they will miss out on classroom discussions and lessons. So this will affect on how well the education that they will receive. Now, let's move on to the last point, which is the benefits of learning sign language. Learning sign language is not just about to help the deaf people, but it also an advantage and a plus point for students who are graduated and on looking for job hunting. They can use this skill as a plus point for them because not everyone was able to use sign language, and especially in a job in a field that require employee to interact with customer like healthcare, customer service or educators. This skill is really useful because an employee with this skill has better quality since they can interact with deaf client or deaf colleague confidently, and they can serve a better quality service compared to the others who didn't have this skill. According to BAR on 2025, in a review of human capital development, employee mobility and HR implications in multilingual organizations, language proficiency is shown to enhance employability and career opportunities because it helps to communicate in a diverse environment. So, learning sign language can give students an edge in their future jobs. So, based on these 3 points, there is sure a clear need for teaching sign language in schools, as this is one of the way to break the communication barriers between the deaf and the hearings. Also to provide equal and effective learning, and also to provide a skill for future generations. So now I want to encourage schools and teachers to spread about the sign language and expose it to the students. You can take the first step by spread and scanning the QR code to learn more about the sign language. Even though not many people understand how important sign language is, I hope with my talk today, you will realize and you will understand how valuable this skill truly is. And this is one of the initiatives to create a more empathetic society. So with that is the end of my talk today. Thank you and see you again. Bye!